gosh. Would you look at that? Look at that.
It says Mom.
It says Mom. What's the occasion?
Because it's Mother's Day.
It's Mother's Day. Oh my God. I forgot that it was like Mother's Day and we're taking this trip before Mother's Day.
It's awesome.
Is it?
Yeah. It's fabulous.
Okay.
Best Mother's Day gift ever.
All right. Play it cool, Hotshot.
Yeah.
Play it cool.
You know.
What's up, everybody? I'm here with my mother, of all people. Say hi. Her name is Laura, and she raised me, if you can believe it. And we are together in New York City at JFK International Airport, waiting to take a flight to Denver, of all places. You all hydrated? You ready for the
Very
high
hydrated.
elevation?
I'm very excited.
Anyone who watches the channel knows that I have been to Denver a lot lately, which is so weird. So why the heck am I going back? Well, this is actually a really special occasion where I'm being recognized by my work for VCA. There's 35,000 associates within VCA, and 9 people have been selected to move on within Mars, the candy company, which actually owns VCA Animal Hospitals, and we'll be recognized in Denver. So for once I'm traveling and I don't really have to do anything. I'm just going to have a good time, and I get a +1. So my mother's coming with me, which is so exciting.
I'm so excited.
Right? It's going to be awesome.
Very excited.
Yeah. And of course, no trip would be complete without cramming some animal stuff into it. So we're going to be doing this awesome gala where we're going to be dressed up, tuxedo, black tie affair type stuff. And then we're also going to visit my friend Max at the Denver Zoo. Super excited about it. So thanks for tuning in, and thanks for being here. Appreciate your support.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Hi guys, we're actually here at the Mars Make the Difference Gala. Super excited about it. I'm here with my mom.
Hi guys.
I'm super humbled to be here and so excited. Let's see how the night goes. Here at the Denver Zoo with my friend Brendan, who I can't get enough of, obviously, because I just landed in Denver again, and I'm here with you. What's up?
Yep, not much.
You were just saying something really cool about the exhibit that we're looking at right now, which I'm staring at a hyena.
Yep.
And this part of the exhibit has a hyena, but there's something else really cool going on with this habitat.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
So the original design, it's meant to cycle through hyenas, lions, and African painted dogs, and they rotate through to keep the enclosure or to keep the animals very stimulated and enriched because they can just, there's new smells, and it's very similar to what they would experience in the wild, being apex predators, and they would encounter each other in the wild. So just knowing each other's presence is there is very stimulating and enriching.
Interesting. So when you're talking about cycle, are you talking about like this moat down here cycling through, or the water,
No,
or just
so-
the fact that where they're like downwind from each other?
So more or less that like they'll leave feces and stuff like that they can smell and know that, oh my gosh, this other animal was here. That's kind of enriching. So they cycle them through the enclosure. So there's one here, there's one over there further back, and then there's another one back here where you hear the lions roaring.
Yeah.
That's they cycle them all through. So they all
Interesting. So it's like they're in each other's areas, which they would be in the wild, but they're not right with each other, where obviously there would be problems with cohabiting them.
Yep.
Super cool. Thanks for that insight.
Yeah.
And you said this habitat is like featured and known nationally, and they just had their meetings for zookeepers here.
Herp tags.
Herp tags. That was like a week ago or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this was probably something that was that those keepers were excited to see.
Yeah, it's
cool.
Something in all my zoo books that I've read, and it's known nationally. It's an older exhibit now, but at the time it was very groundbreaking and new.
Wow, look at that, man! It's not often that you can come to a zoo and just get a great view like this, and there's barely anybody here because it's so cold. It's not really cold. People say it's cold, but it's just like Denver cold. It's not cold like where we are, where it gets cold. Just hanging out with some penguins right now in some crystal blue water. Coors Light would be proud of the color of that water. It's the color of the Rockies water. Okay, bye. Yes, good catch. You must be an athlete. We're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it. How we get you mic'd up before we even got to embrace each other? What's up?
How's it going?
It's going, man.
Good seeing you.
I'm here at the Denver Zoo with my friend Max, who I love dearly. And I just want to say, because it's cool, it's like a full circle moment. Once upon a time, I wrote my first book, and Rick Hefner was the curator of reptiles. I think that was his title specifically, whatever, give or take a word or two. And he was so supportive. And he was also one of those people that like was eager to collaborate with like private folks or with us from the nonprofit world. And he let us collaborate in the stud book. And he also recommended my book to all of the zookeepers that kept Spangleri in the stud book. And I thought, he didn't need to do that. You know what I mean? It's just an awesome thing. So anyway.
He gave it to me.
See?
He gave it.
He gave you the one that I sent him?
Yeah.
Oh, see what I mean? So you never know. Sometimes just like encouraging someone, and that was a little pamphlet of a book, and now here's this monster cinder block of a book.
Less pamphlet.
Exactly. Not so much a pamphlet, but that's what can happen if you like encourage someone and support them and collaborate with them. Anyway, I just had to say that. Thank you.
So yeah, we are definitely not the most turtle heavy collection.
Yeah.
But we do have, we have a decent number.
Yeah.
I always am looking to make it a heavier turtle collection.
Of course, which is why we're friends.
Exactly.
But zoos do, evolve and change and, all of that. But I think there's a history here. There's a really rich reptile history. I mean, there's been Komodo dragons produced here. There's been Leucocephalon yuwanawai, the Sulawesi forest turtle produced here. Like that's a really big deal. Spangleri, yeah. And that's something that, not a lot of zoos are doing. Turtles aren't at the top of the list, and if they are, it's giant tortoises or, a display alligator snapping turtle, something like that. So already just the fact that we're seeing what we're seeing just in this exhibit is really cool.
So yeah, as you can already see, Tropical Discovery is not just reptiles and amphibians. Here we have bats, vampire bats in the left cave, fruit bats in the right cave. I would say,
these guys are eating right here. I need to get that.
We actually yesterday saw a young neonate, probably vampire bat on the ground, and we set it higher up because anyone in the colony will come back and help a youngster out and get it back to mom and feed them and make sure they're being taken care of.
We need to take some lessons from bats, I think.
Yeah, agreed.
Wow, that's so cool. Okay, so those vampire bats were just doing what vampire bats do. They were drinking bovine blood. What? I didn't even know this was a thing that could happen. I've never seen a vampire bat before. I sound like an excitable YouTuber, but I'm actually really excited right now. It's not fake. Okay, bye. This is the main venomous snake area?
Yeah, as far as display wise. I mean, we have other venomous snakes throughout the building, but this whole room is, and has always been, nothing but venomous snakes. This is just kind of what it was historically built for. We've got two-fan cobra that was hatched here. We're a part of the Aruba Island rattlesnake SSP. We're currently a holding facility, but we're just getting into it.
Wonderful.
King cobra here that was Port.
This king cobra was confiscated in the New York
when she was
airport.
really tiny, when she was just a hatchling. She fit inside a small styrofoam box that the person trying to smuggle her in had written the word nothing on.
Ah! It's nothing, don't worry.
It didn't quite make it through the x-rays. Yeah, and then just kind of a smattering of other pit vipers. Always got to have a gaboon. Oh, actually, he's got a fang sitting right there for you on that log.
Oh yeah, look at that. Wow. Okay, so here's a gaboon viper.
Just like I placed it there.
Slow venomous snake, and then slow moving.
But yeah, and then
And
at the end of the
here's
month,
a fang that's
hoping
actually
that, me
sitting
and Mike are
on a
hoping to
log in
get
the
out of state
habitat.
somewhere.
That's really cool.
This is our North American turtle area. Historically, we called it Cypress. You're going to see animals that do not come from cypress swamps here, but that's just how the area was designed. Over here, we got spotted turtles. And then here on the right side, we've got kind of a wide collection. We got Florida red bellies, yellow blotch map turtles, terrapins, an eastern river cooter that was surrendered to us, one false map turtle. And then on the left side, we've got our big alligator snapping turtle, like you mentioned earlier. You know, everybody's got to have a big.
You got to have it.
Snapper.
I mean, yeah. My hope is just that you have the large alligator snapper, but then also other turtles.
Yes.
You know?
Our SSP animals, they haven't received a pairing yet. So we're just hanging on to them at the moment.
So you're waiting for animals from another AZA institution that's part of the SSP.
Yeah.
And that should happen. But who in the AZA is breeding yellow blotch? Do you know of anyone?
Not that I know of.
Could you take any from the outside or no?
That is something I don't know. I mean, I love this turtle too, but you know, she's not the most yellow blotched.
Oh, I understand. The other one's a little bit prettier.
Yeah. She's all the way in the back with the false map. But yeah, so this river cooter was a surrender or a confiscation as well. And then these big Florida red bellies they've been here since 1995. So they've been around in the building for a long time. The building opened in 1993.
They've been here that long?
Yeah.
Or? Wow, that's amazing. I know that they're not breeding, but I want to palpate that turtle because she's so big and she's got her legs back like that. Is that bad? I can't stop. It's my favorite thing to do. I have to remind myself, there's no eggs. It's okay. Leave it alone.
Spotted turtle.
Oh, hello. What's going on there?
Always been that way.
Really?
Yep.
Wow, it's tough to see with the glare, but that is an
Yes.
interesting turtle.
The glare is a little rough, but they used to call her a little like latte
Yeah.
colored. I think she was hatched in 06.
Did she hatch here?
Yes.
Interesting. So she just came out and was light colored from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So we're seeing right now on the screen, we've got a normal spotted turtle here on the left, and then we've got this gorgeous thing right here. Whoa. That thing is incredible. Hello, I love you. Okay. Don't go anywhere. Wow, that thing is really interesting. When did you say it hatched?
I think it was 06.
06, yeah. So almost 20-year-old turtle. Very, very cool looking. And it's older, so it's got a little bit of a smooth shell. And then its look is odd, you know, like it doesn't look, like at first glance, it'd be like, it doesn't look like a morph, like a genetic mutation, like coloration like that. It's like at first glance, really quickly, it's like, what's on that turtle? And then you keep looking and you're like, wait a minute. That is something really odd and special. Cool. This area is really cool. The area Max told us they call Cypress. Awesome animals here, kind of a smattering Mod Podge of different turtle species, which is awesome because there's kind of something for everyone. And I really appreciate, number one, the really clean water that's kind of deep too, that these turtles can really show off what they're known for and what's best about them. Map turtles, Diamondback Terrapins, they're active swimmers, and it's all on full display here. They also cohab really well. This is making me really wish that I could drop a GoPro in there right now because the footage would be crystal clear. The water is so clean and the animals are so amazing. There's nothing like, there's not much like seeing, for me, an adult ring map turtle or yellow blotch map turtle that's a real big adult female. They're just special. Yes, they lose some of the awesome yellow color, but they're awesome turtles.
Male alligator snapping turtle. His name's Billy.
Billy, what a great name for a big alligator snapper.
We've had him for 5 years. He came to us from the downtown aquarium. previous alligator snapper we had was here since the building had opened.
In 1992.
Yeah, and his name was Bob. So we're just sticking with the simple B names.
I love it.
Bob was an interesting one because he was actually a rescue. He was caught in a fishing net outside of Houston, rehabilitated. They actually had to amputate his foot at the Houston Zoo, and then he came to us when we opened this building. We obviously didn't have an exact age on Bob. I'm guessing Bob was 75 to 100 years old.
Yeah.
Billy, we don't also have an exact age, believe it or not.
Billy doesn't look like a spring chicken.
No, but I do think he's still fairly, I tell people middle-aged.
Okay.
Because he was 100 pounds when we got him from the aquarium, and he's grown 50 pounds since then. So he's about 150 now. When he was donated to the Bronx Zoo in 1995, he was like 16 pounds, according to the records.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, well, yeah, there you go.
Then.
This is what's great about zookeepers is that there are records.
There's at least
most of the time.
Right?
Right.
And again, you know, I feel like based on that like pretty steady growth rate in the last 5 years, still a fairly young turtle, right? To be grown that quickly without being an exponential curve. It's been very just, steady growth.
Wonderful. Monster.
Billy, I'm working on, he does a really good job of target training. I stick a red buoy in the water, comes up to it, touches his nose to it, and then, reward him. And the goal with that is to eventually get a hanging scale that I'm going to target him into to get less stressful weights. Because currently to weigh him, we have to lift him up and over the glass.
Mm-hmm.
A, he's heavy. B, he hates being touched.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all stress when we get weights on him, and I would like to minimize that stress.
Right.
And so just voluntarily asking him to get into that sling and then suspending him above the water for a brief moment seems less stressful to me.
That's incredible. Are we kidding right now? Are we kidding? Now, I dwarf everything, and there's this forced perspective where I'm in front of this Komodo dragon right now, so it probably looks a lot smaller than it is, but I'm next to it, and this thing is absolutely huge. It's pretty darn cool. I think I've seen Komodos before, although something tells me this is going to be an experience I'm going to remember a little bit more. And not only am I making lizard friends, but I also have a whole crew of kids right now who are trying to get on this YouTube channel because they think I'm Kenan. It's pretty funny. Right now, I'm looking at the view of a butt that's very familiar to me. It's an Egyptian tortoise, a species I keep, a species Brendan keeps, and a species that Max is partly responsible for here at the zoo. It's a species that is going extinct in the wild, and that we on the private side are definitely working to organize and collaborate a lot more on. So more to come on that, and if you're actually looking for a little bit of information on that, check out the video that we did with Brendan where he talked about it.
Indian Narrow-Headed Softshell Turtle.
Oh my gosh!
Future indica. I'm a big softshell guy, so this guy is definitely probably my favorite animal here at the zoo.
That's amazing.
He was hatched at the San Diego Zoo.
I was going to ask, because obviously to see a young cheetah at this point, like where else is it from?
Right.
So my understanding is that they hatched a lot of them, but they had a little bit of trouble with like acclimating early with these hatchings and everything. What type of sand are you using?
This is Zoomed Reptile.
Okay.
So it's real fine. It's been, processed and everything's been pulled out of it and all that good stuff. So
a friend of mine keeps a a decent amount of Cheetor actually, and he swears by calcium sand. Says it's like
Oh, really?
been a complete game changer for, I think maybe something with the pH in that sand or something like that, or the
Interesting.
coarseness of whatever that product is. But he's had a lot of success with Cheetor.
Oh, well, I'll definitely keep that in
He's
mind.
not breeding them. Who is besides San Diego?
Right.
This is really cool. This is a species that I've never seen in my life. How often can you say that?
So this is the little guy.
Tell me about this. What do you love about it? Besides the fact that it's the coolest freaking thing I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, as far as turtles go, for I just like that soft-shell turtles are even just a little bit different from turtles, which are already different
Yeah.
from all their animals, right? I like they're fast, they're predatory. In this case, eventually going to get gigantic.
Just a little bit.
And then, I mean, that pattern on that shell is just amazing to me. And then little goofy face, even goofier than normal soft shell turtles.
Right.
I feel like
It's like I know soft shell, so like my brain, and I've seen these in photos and videos
Right.
a million times, and I've seen Cheetor Van Dyke eye, and so obviously the same sort of thing, but still I've never seen a small one. And my brain knows what soft shells are, but like this, it's like something's not computing. I feel like this is like a dream. Like this is like a dream character that doesn't actually really exist.
And
It's
so
so cool.
we've had them for about 2 years. Been good, slow, steady growth rate. Not trying to pump them, power feed them or anything like
Yeah.
that to get them big. But yeah, I definitely also fell in love with the genus. We had Cheetor at the Fort Worth Zoo, and we had a big 90-pound female that I love taking care of as well. Target fed that animal in a pool that was 20 feet deep.
Wow.
So the fact that we were able to get a youngster like this was, this is just exactly what I want to work with.
Were you instrumental in bringing this animal here?
It was definitely my idea. It has to obviously
Yes.
go through
Yeah, of course, I
the
know.
proper.
You're not a one-man
Channels,
decision maker, I
but,
understand. But that's amazing.
yes,
That's got to be really fulfilling.
Oh yeah, I mean it helps to work with stuff you're super passionate about, right? And obviously turtles in general are my thing, but this is really, really just like what I love. So
Man, so cool. So these are a species of snakeneck turtle, which is aptly named because of the really long neck that they have. This is not a species that we've highlighted a lot yet on the channel, but it's a species that I've had the good pleasure, fortune to be able to spend some time with. So I'm excited to show these to you right now, and grateful for Mac sharing with us the information from these ones that have been at the zoo. They are from the genus Calodina. Now that's with a CH, but in Latin the CH makes a K sound, so Calodina. And all of those turtles are snake necks, have long neck that goes in. When they go into their shell, it kind of goes sideways. They can't pull their head into their shell. They just kind of keep their face back. And if you were going to really mutilate their face, you would just get one side. So I guess that works for them. They have a pretty vicious bite. And that adaptation is a part of their hunting techniques. Pretty cool.
So we've got several species of dart frogs, some mantellas, but then lots of Panamanian golden frogs, so Atelopus, that are kind of like you mentioned with the Egyptian tortoise basically they're functionally extinct in the wild. Zoos are doing a really good job of having a captive assurance colony to eventually, figure out how to make its way back into the wild. So, down on the bottom you see we have lots of golden frogs up on top, but a smattering of other dart frog species.
Yeah, so chances of the world changing, like maybe the environment isn't ready, maybe there's still some kind of fungus, and
Right.
or with turtles, maybe there's still this huge demand and people are just going to snatch them up for the illegal pet trade again or something like that. But should we let a species die because the world that we live in isn't one that they adapted for? I think we should not let them die, and that we should do everything we can to protect them, especially if it's a disease that we've introduced, or if it's an animal that we've collected to the point of extinction, or eaten, or used for traditional medicine, or whatever the reason is. If it's at all human related, rodents, then we need to do everything we can, in my opinion, to save them. There are some people that don't agree with that.
this is fertile ants. This is Bothrops mahagani. There's various species of fertile ants, but fertile ants in general are responsible for like 80-90% of all venomous snake bites in South and Central America. They're a pretty gnarly, fast species, and a lot of people get bit by them.
Be careful out there when you're on vacation, or if you live in Central and South America. Max, I can't thank you enough for this. We kind of came in like a blaze and kind of ran through and everything, but you showed so many really awesome things, particularly the turtles. And there's nothing that makes my heart sing like a zookeeper who also loves turtles, because that means you're gonna, you know, put your 2 cents in, throw your hat in the ring, and use your opinion to kind of push for turtle stuff to happen around the zoo, whether it gets listened to or not or whatever. I know it's a part of a big committee and all of that, but you guys do a really good job here.
Oh, thank you.
Place looks amazing. It smells amazing. The animals look so healthy, and the water is like, it makes me thirsty. Like I want to go drink some clear water because I've been staring at clear water for a couple hours. It's awesome, and you're really living the dream for so many people. Is there any advice that you give to anyone out there who's thinking of becoming a zookeeper, or anything that maybe you didn't know that you wish you knew?
Not necessarily that I didn't know. I think it's not to be cheesy, but it's kind of like everything. If it's worth it to you, you're gonna keep chasing it, and you're gonna find a way to make it work. I honestly didn't think I was gonna do zookeeping when I went to school at Colorado State. I wanted to do more field stuff. Then I got an internship here. I realized how awesome it was because you get to work with the animals every single day. Like that is your primary job. And then with how zoos are growing now into conservation organizations like we are here at Zoo Conservation Organization, you actually still have the ability to impact things in the wild. And that doing both is amazing. That I think that checks all the boxes. So I mean, it's definitely a little bit of a grind to start. I was unpaid for a while there, being unpaid here, working another job elsewhere. Had to move out of state, get back, back home. So it can be a little bit of a grind to get into the zoo field, but it's worth it.
That's awesome. You mentioned the getting out and having the ability to really impact like in situ conservation efforts. We have a project in Pennsylvania with wood turtles. I was actually out there just a couple days ago. Found a wood turtle that I found for the first time 9 years ago. We had a mark. Nice. It was so cool. And she was just a little juvenile, and now she's like a breeding size female. So exciting to see her 9 years later. But anyway, as part of that work, we have folks from the Philly Zoo come out with us, so that they can kind of be involved. And I know they do other things as well. Have you had the opportunity to get out in the field as well as part of your work for the zoo?
Yeah, so I kind of mentioned earlier that one of the big programs we do here, particularly in our facility, is boreal toads. I've had the ability to go out and do sampling for boreal toads, but also releases of tadpoles. And then I was super fortunate, out of an unfortunate circumstance, back when the very first big confiscation of radiated tortoises happened in Madagascar, and they had a big call for any help, really. I was able to go out and help in Madagascar construct some of the pens and the veterinary hospital and stuff like that for when they first were triaging.
That's amazing. That's so important, because that work was instrumental in setting up the infrastructure for subsequent confiscations, because unfortunately there's really not any clear-cut foolproof way to curb that poaching in Madagascar. That's amazing. You are legitimately a hero. I hope you know that in so many ways. And I'm just a huge fan of yours, and I'm just so happy that you exist and you're here and that we're friends. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you coming out. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Max got a nice pen. Let's go, Max.
It's the little things.
Hit subscribe, join the crew. Just turtles. There's always something new.